Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we're in week 7 of our Handmade Christmas ideas. And we're doing, this week is all about special cards. So cards for special people in our family that we don't necessarily have to post, so we don't have to worry about, you know, layers and things like that. So all the cards this week we're using one sheet of cardstock, scored in half, cut in half. So this is a excuse me, an A4 sheet, and it's scored in half and it's folded and scored in half. Then, because it's a special card, I'm doing layers in black and gold. So I have done a layer which is 1/4 inch smaller. The gold is 1/4 inch smaller. Then this is 1/2 inch because I wanted the gold to show up quite a bit. And then we've got a black layer and then we've got a white layer. So this gives a rather fancy look to the card, and we need to be aware that we're going to use gold. So I'm using crushed curry because that's the nearest thing to stamping in this sort of bright gold. And then we are going to decorate this piece to make it look quite fancy. So I am going to use, now this is a stamp set I've had for a long time. I absolutely love it. It is Christmas Deer, and it has the most beautiful antlers in there, and I just think it looks absolutely lovely. So I've mounted that onto a block, and I think is that straight? Yes, that's straight. Now I need to use a good black ink. I'm doing it in black because I'm doing it as a silhouette, and I'm doing it because I have got black and gold round there. So I'm trying to pick that up in inks that we have. So a good black ink. Make sure that you cover it right the way across, and then, oh, might have to turn that over. I've got a bit of a mucky mark on the bottom of there. Then I'm going to put this in on the centre. So as it's quite big, I allow it to rest a little bit, and I haven't used this one for, I don't know how long, a long time, but I absolutely loved it. So any large image, you don't have to use the same images as me. If you happen to have been a demonstrator a long time, you might have a good pile. So take that up, but you've got this lovely deer in the centre. I think he's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I need to clean that up. I'm going to do that later on. And then I am going to take, we want a little sentiment, something that's not too big. And I quite like this because, again, it's quite sort of swirly, Peace on Earth. And I think that I'm going to use that one. Again, it's one that I've had for a long time. And I just need to make sure that that's as centered as I can get it. I think that's fine. And then I need to work out where I'm going to put it. I think I'm going to put it down there on the bottom. Again, I'm using a good black ink. Make sure that I've got it straight. And I might even just stamp it out first once to just make sure that it is straight. So yes, perfect. And I love the swirl on it because the swirl then goes through with these really rather pretty swirls in there as well. So I'm going to have that in just at an angle down on here. Okay, so we've got that and we've got Peace on Earth. So that's our structure. And I wanted the structure in there first because then it means that I can then start to, I'm just looking for my, have I got my Simply chamois out, or is it, no, it's up on there. it means then I can start building up round the side, because I want to have some things round the side that then coordinate in with it all. So let's put this one back in on here. And as I say, these are all from my stash. So that was Greetings of the Season. Again, long time ago. The Christmas deer, the same. You can see we used to have these lovely colours at the top instead of the black. And now we're all into black. So I want to use these little ornaments and things, but we're going to scatter them about as well as put them in the antlers. So what I want to do now is I want to have some boughs and berries and things like that going around. So I'm going to start with, this is Cherish the Season. Anything that you've got that's got some leaves and things in. So this one, I think was last year. So I think more of you are probably likely to have that. And I'm going to put this in with, I've taken a whole pile of greens. So I've got lights and I've got darks and I've got even darker greens. I think this one is going to go in with a very dark green. So Evening Evergreen, which is a nice, oh, if I can get it open. Gracious me. I know you said about pressing down on here, but to be quite honest, it doesn't, you can see it does that and it still doesn't open it. So I do struggle with opening these ones. There we go. They really aren't the most user-friendly, but there we are. Okay, so I'm going to literally just take these round the side. And I'm not filling it up completely. I'm just sort of doing just some pieces round here, because then that will, there we go. That will allow us to start building up the leaves and the layers and things in there. So I need to simply chamois, just clean this one off. Then I can remember, because if you're using lots of stamp sets, particularly some that you've had a long time ago, you need to make sure that you remember exactly where you've put them all. So that's that dark green, which are rather nice sort of pine sprig on there. Then I've got this one, which is Peaceful Noel. I think this was a couple of years ago, photopolymer. So this one has got this smaller sprig on here, and I am going to do it in this one, and I'm going to do it in, I think I'm going to do it in Old Olive actually, because I want quite a few different tones of green coming in. So this is a more yellowy green, but it's still going to work quite well. So I just want to take one up like that. I'm doing it next to the other one. So where we have it, I'm doing it once and then once off. And I might do it here once and once off. So once and once off. Once and once off. Once and once off. And by doing it like that, you start to build up a really nice background coming in. With different colours. Like that. And I think that's probably, don't think I want too much more than that. Because again, if you put too much in there, it's just not going to look right. And we are going to be putting some of the decorations in on there, because then that will add it. But that's just given a little, and they're darker greens. I brought a whole selection out, but those are the two that I've used. So I've used a dark green and then old olive, which is sort of a mid-tone green, which worked really rather well. Now I'm going to go back to that lovely stamp set, which has got all of the little tiny weeny baubles and things like that in. So with that in mind, we are going to just put this back in its case so I know where it is. And I need to take out my tiny little block, because these are very small pieces. So if you have them on a big block, it's easier to get halos round them. And I tend to be pretty good. I'm not a halo-y sort of person, but we've got all of these lovely little ornaments in on here. So they will hang from the tree. Oh, that's a little bird. Don't think I want the little bird, actually. I just want the ornaments. I might sneak a bird in there, but we'll have to see. There's a little tiny bird on there, but I want the ornaments in first of all. So I'm going to do red, because that's very much your Christmas. So do it first and just see. Yes, that's perfect. So I want this hanging from the antler, and then I want them just round on the tree. I'm just doing sort of a few just hanging down like that. I might do another one on here, although we've got quite a lot, haven't we? Right, where's my Simply Chamois? But as I say, if you haven't got this particular one, just look at something where you've got maybe little baubles and things, and something that you can add some colours to. So I'm going to do this next one in the yellow, which is going to be the gold, and that's got a big star on here. That's very similar to the other one, but it's bigger. So let's have a little look on this. Oh yes, that's quite nice as well. So I'm just going to put some of these dotted about. And that's why it's quite nice with the little branches. You can then have it coming down from the deer as well as round the sides. Now, I think I'm just going to do it in the red and the yellow. I don't think I want another colour in there. So let me do one of these baublies in yellow. Make sure that one's come out quite nicely, which it has. We can have one just like that. And I'm just literally popping them in and out. And then one more, I think. So the stars are very pretty. That's quite a long bauble, isn't it? Let's have that one. Let's see what that's like. Well, that's a round one. I might try both of those and see which one I prefer. So let's pop this one in. So that's a little round one, isn't it? Let's have a look at this. Whoops. There we go. yes, I like that one. So we'll have this one up in on here. Then we'll have one up here. And one down in on here. One there. And one there. Okay, I think that's enough, because we don't have too many on there. Now, the only thing that I need to do is that my deer is wafting about in the air. So I just want to do a little bit of grounding for the deer. So I'm going to take the dark, what was the dark one that I used? Ah, this. So I'm going to have the Evening Evergreen, if I can get it open again. And I'm just going to take a little piece of sponge dauber, and I just want a little piece of paper. Let me have a look and see if I've got a little piece of scrap paper. It doesn't need to be very good. This is a bit of a corner from something. So you just want to take a little bit like that, and then all I want to do is to put this down like this, just where the feet are, and take a sponge dauber. That'll do. And then all I want to do is to just do that, which then just gives a little bit of just bring that down there. Just a little bit down like that. Okay, so he's just got a little piece that he's grounded on. And then let's get our card base together. Where did I move it? Here it is, up here. So we've got this lovely, it's going to go in on the centre. You've got all your gold and twinklies and things like that in there. And we're going to add some other bits and pieces as well. So let's put this, and again, I haven't cut anything out of this. I should have done, but I haven't. So when you're doing it, what do they say? Do as I say, not as I do. You know, cut some pieces or some squares or whatever out of this so that you're not wasting it. I'm just, for the sake of the video, I'm not doing it. So I want to make sure that I've got this black in on here, so we've got a nice mat round on there. Then we're going to have the gold. And again, if you didn't want to do your image, whether you're using a deer or any other image in the gold, sorry, in the black, you could do it in gold and you could emboss it. So there's lots of different ways of doing this sort of card, but it's just all about the layers. So you're layering black and gold, because black and gold just gives such a beautiful background, makes it very special. So, which is quite good. Oh, my neighbour's dog's just going out, so if my little dog starts barking in a minute, you can understand why. But I think she's been very good today, actually. She hasn't yet. So this piece comes in down on the second piece, and that's why I've given it an extra half an inch rather than a quarter of an inch on the mat here, because I wanted the gold to just show between the two black layers. And as long as you make sure that they look balanced, you're all right to do different ones. So, and this one is then going to be a quarter, so I can then put that in like that. Okay, and then you've got that, which is really rather lovely and has got all the gold. Now, the only thing that I am going to do is I have got some, and I don't even know if I've got any left of this. I've just got some glitter glue. So I'm just, yes, I have. So this is just, you can get glitter glue from everywhere. We used to do really nice sparkly ones, but we don't anymore. So all I'm doing is, I'm just doing a little bit, and it'll dry clear. So I'm just doing a little bit on there so you can see that twinkling. And I'm then just going to do a little bit along on the bows, because then it just gives that little bit of extra twinkle. And by doing that, it makes, as I say, we're making cards special, but not using anything that's too many supplies, if you see what I mean. We're just using bits that we've got and stamps that we've got, but creating something that looks very pretty without having to go and buy a whole new set of supplies. So it's whatever you've got. Okay, now I don't want to do anything on the actual deer itself, but by doing that, I hope you can see you've just got a little bit of sparkling on there. And I think that that makes a beautiful, very special card for somebody. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.